Hello and welcome to the new style Edexcel GCSEs. These are the ones that go from grades 9 through to grade 1. This is paper 1MA1/2H. It's the second paper in the higher tier. It is a calculator paper and we're picking up in question 12. A and B are two sets of traffic lights on a road. The probability that a car is stopped by lights A is 0.4. Okay, if we draw that on our probability tree here, the probability that it's stopped by lights A is 0.4. That just helps me to remember what I've been told. Okay, so if a car is stopped by lights A, then the probability that the car is not stopped by lights B is 0.7. So to try and understand that, if the car is stopped by lights A, so that's up here, then the probability that the car is not stopped by lights B, so that's down here, is 0.7. Okay. In fact, while I'm here, I might as well fill in the other ones. If the probability of this is 0.7 and the probability that a car is stopped by the traffic lights and or the probability that it's not stopped, they're mutually exclusive. The car is either stopped or it's not stopped. So the probability that it is stopped is 1 minus 0.7, because something will either happen or it won't happen. It's an absolute certainty it will or it won't. So 0.7 plus something will make 1, and that something is 0.3, because 3 plus 7 is 10, so this is 0.3. You can use a calculator and just type 1 minus 0.7 if you want. And while we're at it, we might as well fill in this one. If this is 0.4, then this must be 0.6, because 6 plus 4 is 10. Again, you can use a calculator and just do 1 minus 0.6. Okay, so we've assimilated this information. If a car is not stopped by lights A, so that means it's not stopped by lights A, so we're coming down here, then the probability that the car is not stopped by lights B, so that's down here, is 0.2. And again, by the same reasoning we've already done, this must be 0.8, because 8 plus 2 is 10. Or you could just do 1 minus 0.2 on a calculator and get 0.8. Okay, so part A says complete the probability tree diagram for this information. Well, that's good, because we've already done that anyway, just to try and make sense of the information. So Mark drove along this road. He was stopped by just one of the sets of traffic lights. Part B says, is it more likely he was stopped by lights A or by lights B? You must show your working. Okay, I think there's two ways of looking at this, and that's down to whether or not this here is taken as a statement of fact or something we're supposed to calculate. If we take this as a statement of fact given in hindsight, then if he was stopped by the traffic lights, then we know for certain he wasn't. If he was stopped by lights A, we know for certain he wasn't stopped by lights B, so we don't need to worry about that. We just say the probability he was stopped at lights A is 0.4. And if we take this as a statement of fact, then if he was not stopped by lights A, then it's a guaranteed certainty he was stopped by lights B, so we don't need to worry about that again. So our probability is just 0.4 compared with 0.6. The answer is B. But I don't think that's what the examiners want. For one thing, it would be too simple. And for another thing, I took a sneak peek at the marking guide because I was a little bit confused about this statement here. I think what they actually meant to say was calculate the probability that he was only stopped by one of the lights, and calculate the probability that that one was A, and calculate the probability that that one was B. So what we're actually comparing is the probability that he was stopped by lights A and not stopped by lights B. So the probability of A and not B and when you're ANDing probabilities, you're multiplying the probabilities. So the probability of A happening and the probability of B happening is you multiply the two probabilities. So that is 0.4 which we get from here, and not B is 0.7, so that's times 0.7, which is equal to 0.28, that he was stopped by only lights A and not by lights B. So the probability that he was stopped by lights B and not by lights A, so that's the probability of not A and B is equal to, so that's 0.6 times 0.8. 6 times 8 is 48. We've taken the decimal point 2 places to the left. So that's 0.48. So again, whichever way we actually do look at it, the answer is going to be the same anyway. The answer is B. It has the higher probability. Okay, I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.